All right, we got another episode of the Fake Football Analysts. We're your host, the most, Aaron Cass. We got Hollywood Ray right there. Look how spiffy he looks today.
Yeah,
I bet he's
man.
looking spiffy because his AFC team beat Miami. Now we're gonna see another AFC team beat Miami.
But well, listen. I mean, we talked about this when we did our season preview when we made our long-awaited return. You know, I like I said, I had a feeling that the magic had ran out in Miami, and obviously, there's always folks that are going to think that's premature, or you're just saying it because you're a Patriot fan. I'm like, no, like this has been history. This has been historical. What happens? You have a few good seasons. I mean, obviously Marino, you was good for years, but only made the Super Bowl, I think, in his second year, and then never got even close. I want to say they got back to an AFC Championship game. I think they lost to Buffalo in the early '90s, one of those 4 years. So they had a chance, but sure, even Montana got there in the AFC. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like even he got a shot at the AFC Championship, like in between that time. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know, but they've had prosperity. But they've kind of been the East Coast version of the Cowboys. And once again, not an opinion. That's a fact. And
You
yeah,
could
so,
you could say to the East Coast version of the San Diego Chargers. Record's a little bit different, but would go to the playoffs, lose because I
well, no,
believe
they
Jay
only last because they
Fiedler.
won. San Diego ain't win. They didn't win. They didn't win. So, but yeah,
Guess that's true.
Yeah, San
But
Diego's.
But I will say though, we if anyone's here is from the old school, that's my sports. When we had it the first time, we had to clean your desk. Mike McDaniel, he has to be cleaning his desk just to be prepared for what's going to happen tonight. If they go 0-3, is Mike McDaniel cleaning his desk? Are we bringing it back?
Well, I mean, that segment's coming back regardless because that was always one of my favorite segments that we did anyways. But it's very much like Miami to win tonight in Buffalo. They'd win this game once again.
Wow.
And once again, I made a joke about this being an outlier. Yeah, this would be the outlier win. They would just this would be an outlier win where they just come into Buffalo and win like 23-20, like on a last second field goal. And it'd be like very much like Buffalo to lose that type of game too. Like, let's not act like they've been walking in prosperity. Once again, they've been good the last 4 or 5 years because they've been the cream of the crop, in that division, and rightfully so. But yeah, they haven't always showed up in big games, which is why folks were so surprised they had came back against Baltimore a few weeks ago. So yeah, but I mean, like I said, tonight of all nights, like it would be a night that Miami would win. Now, I don't think they're going to win. Like had we did this show yesterday because we're recording it live while the game is going on Amazon Prime. I think that I think that I would have talked about Miami. There's a way they could win this game, but I think that Buffalo should smoke them. Once again, people have been talking all week about Buffalo being the best team in football, which I don't know why we do this every year, right? Why do we do this when the defending champions win or the team wins that went to the Super Bowl? It's like, oh, we can't continue to prop them up. Why? Why not? Why? And why? Because it's the lazy take. It's not a lazy take. They won the Super Bowl.
That's the same thing with college football. Ohio State wins, they're ranked number 3. Makes absolutely no sense. They put Texas at 1. So it's like they just like creating chaos, and that's why they're analysts.
No,
Like
right, right. Which but it's wild to me. I'm like, you put all this emphasis on certain teams. Now, once again, Buffalo's been good for a number of years, and as we're talking, the Miami just scored a touchdown. They're up.
Ooh, was it finally Tyreek Hill? Because we
Let's
could talk
see.
about
Hold
we
on.
could
Let's
talk
see.
about the keys to the game here and
No,
what I saw from New
Gordon,
England.
Gordon, whoever Gordon is, that's their running back.
Oh, Ollie Gordon, nice, good
Yeah.
for him.
So,
He's a 7th rounder from Oklahoma State.
yeah. So, yeah, 7-0 Buffalo. But that's what I'm saying. This would be the game today when there's no pressure. They're excellent. They're excellent when there's no pressure. But when expectations are heaped upon them, regardless of whatever. So once again, you and I grew up in the Jay Fiedler, then obviously,
Chad Pennington, John Beck.
were we run for Cleo Lemon too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Leo Lemon was in there.
Leo
John Beck
Lemon. Wait,
was in there. Matt Moore.
I need people to understand. Like,
Leo freaking Lemon.
but this. So I want y'all when y'all listen to this, right? Because once again, yes, the show was called Fake Football Analyst, right? But let it be known, and in the words of Isaiah Thomas, right, the Detroit point guard, not the Celtics one. Let it be known, we absolutely know what we're talking about. Absolutely. Absolutely. And once again, can rattle off your team's history better than you probably. So just so you know, yes, the show is called Fake Football Analyst. There's nothing fake about what we deliver around here. I had to get that humble brag real quick, because they're not like us. I had to make it known. But yeah, no, but keys to the game is always running the football. They got to run the football, and that's right. That's right. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. But yeah, you have to run the ball. Listen, I'm old school. The run sets up the pass. Period.
Absolutely.
I don't care who you have as quarterback. You run sets up the pass. New England had 120 yards on the ground. That's why they looked dominant Sunday. That's exactly why. Ramondre Stevenson. I said, because once again, I've been on the bandwagon, and I feel like I get killed weekly because I've liked Stevenson from the jump, but obviously his fumble issues and other stuff that's going on. But I'm like, no, like when he's on, he's really good. And we saw the best version of him last week where that 50-yard catch that he had, or 50-yard, I was like, whoa, like that was not something that it was on my bingo card in 2025 that he would catch an out route and go for 50 yards. Like that's not what I thought. TreVeyon Henderson, sure. And Antonio Gibson, sure. But that's not what I thought that I would receive from Ramondre Stevenson. So like he was looking like Marshall Faulk out there. So I was like, I will take it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I saw in that game too, it just looked like no matter what Drake May did, it looked like the corners were just more like 10, 15 yards out. They weren't really covering as well.
Right.
Austin Hooper got a catch. So that's why I think with Buffalo, I heard Tony Romo say this last week that it was a trap game, Jets and Buffalo. And I'm thinking this might be a trap game, just like you're saying, even though it is 7-0 Dolphins. You look at Buffalo and you're like, man, like they got James Cook, and he's going to cook today. James Cook is going to cook against this defense. I don't see much of like a pass rush or a run stop. So I think James Cook's going to do what he did against the Jets. That's a better defensive line. But I do think Miami somehow is going to pull it off. I think Tua's going to go with his inner Alabama, and he's going to have like a game-winning touchdown to Jalen Waddle or something like that. Like something's going to happen where Buffalo's going to think.
He's already 4-4, 29 yards. And then, but Devin Aching's been their offense so far.
Oh, absolutely. And Tyreek Hill got his first over 30-yard
catch
last week.
I mean, I knew that without Christian Gonzalez that he was going to, torch us. Because Gonzalez played very well against him last season out there, played very well. So I mean, when you're missing one of the best corners in the game, yeah, you look a little different on defense. But I was very shocked at how much pressure we was able to get, because that has been non-existent here maybe since the Van Noy's that era. Like we have not had guys that can go get it up front. And once again, you had the Chandler Jones, and that's why Bill pissed me off the last few years here. I'm like, dude, you always had those guys. You had Seymour, you had Brewski, you had William McGinnis, the Anthony Pleasant,
Rob Ninkovich,
right? You know what I'm saying? Like you had Chandler Jones, you had these guys. So I'm just like, to neglect that altogether and not go get those type of guys. Well, then again, he was drafting some of these guys too, and they ended up becoming something. But it's just like, I don't know, like how he. I mean, right? He lost everything. I felt like as time went on, but I'm just like, wow, like that to me is unbelievable. But yeah, but no, like I said, I was happy about Sunday. I thought y'all had it Sunday. Like I said, we're going to get into picks shortly, but I wanted to touch on that Giants game because Russ turned back the clock Sunday, and I didn't know he still had that in him. Honestly, I didn't. I think he still had that type of game left in him, and shout out to Sierra.
Oh boy.
Woo, shout out to Sierra. So
Yeah, that was a something game. I don't know. But that was also the 20, I think it's like the 29th ranked defense. So that was just
no,
a
but I
gimme. But
mean,
yeah,
but see, okay, we say this, and it's the same thing with college football, right? Where it's like, oh, like so and so is like 408th in FBS. I mean, me and you were old enough to remember Appalachian State coming into Michigan once again in the big house, not down there in Boone, North Carolina. They came into Ann Arbor, came into the big house under 8,000. Marnie Edwards
true.
went crazy in there. So I mean, granted, I know it's a difference, but we can't say about because any given Sunday, and we see it every week now. Like teams that should win games just don't, and you're like, how do they lose this? How?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, like I said, for 452. So he said Jackson Dart, not so fast, buddy. You put a Lee Corso, not so
I
fast.
am not so fast. Nah, I'm okay with that. I would rather have Jameson in, but that I'm not Brian Dable. But so before we get into our picks, what is a final score prediction? Even though we know it's 7-0, what do you think it'll
I'm
be for
gonna
tonight?
say I'm even though I said I can see this being a trap game. I'm gonna say Buffalo ekes it out. I'm gonna say Buffalo wins 27-20.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about a trap game, so I'm gonna go Dolphins, and I'm gonna go 35-28. Like I said, James Cook's gonna have a monster game. I really don't trust Khalil Shakir. I don't really trust Joshua Palmer. I think Josh Allen's going to have a few tutties too, so it could be between those two guys. And I mean, obviously Dawson Knox, I'm going to have it in, but I think this is going to be a breakout for Jalen Waddle. I know he was questionable, so maybe whatever's going on there, but I just feel like this team wants to fight for Mike McDaniel, and I think once they get that first win, everything's just going to come together.
I mean,
that's just me.
I mean, for their sake, I hope so. Because once again, they've had a lot of turnover in that organization.
Like I saw people talking about Dan Marino should be the GM, and you should go get Sark from Texas. Leave that alone. That's just saying stuff. Let's not say things we don't mean. Like that's just way panic mode.
But what would I mean? I mean, I don't have anything against Steve Sarkisian because I'm like, whatever. I mean, he's been a really good offensive mind for majority of his career, regardless of where he's been at, college or pro. But I don't get the Dan Marino context. I don't.
It's just because he's hanging around the front office and he's a legend. That's what they do.
Right. But
I'm
like, I wouldn't want Ty Law or Teddy Bruschi or Richard Seymour. Or Richard Seymour was the Raiders anyway, so he's over there with Tom. But like I wouldn't want any of those guys being the GM. Like no way. Because what happens is you look at, because some of those guys were so great, you look at certain guys thinking that, oh, they're supposed to be this or they could be this. And it's like, nah, like you saw the game in a different lens because you were really, really elite. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's really elite to make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube. But you gotta be elite. Or they see you through an elite lens. Like that's why I think Michael Jordan was such a bad owner, and he never drafted guys that were really, really talented. It's unbelievable that Michael Gilchrist got drafted before certain people. I get it when he was in Kentucky, so he was a scrub. And AD was the consensus number one that year. But it's just like, you think about some of the draft choices they had. I mean, Kemba was the best choice he ever made by far. Oh
yeah, absolutely.
By far. But it was just like, how do you, anytime they had a decent roster, a team that could maybe, get into the playoffs and make some more revenue, he traded guys away. And it's just like, and as real time score, 4 minutes left, Dolphins have now tied. I mean, Buffalo is now tied. It's now 7-7. Josh Allen threw a touchdown to Dalton Kincaid for 20 yards touchdown.
Ooh, I believe that. All
Yeah.
right, speaking of touchdowns, let's get into those week 3 picks. We're gonna do a little rapid round because I know people want to watch the Dolphins game.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so let's start off with the 1 o'clocks. What do you got?
All right, so we got Steelers Patriots. Like I said, I'll never pick Pittsburgh against the Patriots. How you feel about any team against the NFC? So I'm not picking Pittsburgh. So I'm rocking with the Patriots there.
Same.
Falcons Panthers.
I'm gonna go Falcons.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Panthers get their first win. I'm gonna say
interesting.
I mean, granted, I don't trust either quarterback, but I definitely don't trust Penix.
But I just like the Falcons defense. They really showed up against Minnesota, even though they lost Darisaw. Atlanta did what they needed to do.
Yeah, no doubt. Packers Browns. I mean, that's a 1-2-3.
1-2-3.
Green Bay. Texas Jaguars.
Give me the Jaguars. Barely, but give me the Jaguars.
Same. I don't know what happened with what's going on in Houston. Like I don't know what's going on. They went from the media darlings to a team that looks out of place. I feel like they're a few games away from looking like the David Carr Houston Texans, and that's wild to me. Because they have talent, and Nick Caserio's done a really good job, but I don't know what's going on. But yeah. Next on the 1 o'clock slate, we got Cincinnati versus Minnesota. Joe Burrow's out, but you know Jake from State Farm is in there, so I'm gonna go with Cincinnati even on the road, even without Joe Burrow. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati.
I'm also gonna go Cincinnati just because it goes with if like a head coach leaves, the team does well. I think with the quarterback switch, he is 4-3. He's played with them before. So I'm going to go Bengals, but I'm going to root for Carson Wentz, his first start this year for Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for those that know us, we people remember how high we were on, like, we thought Carson Wentz
very high.
The guy. And once again, for about a 2-year stretch, he was showing us that what we thought. Like, we saw it on tape. We was like, yeah, that's the next guy up. But unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. And then next on the 1 o'clock slate, we have the Rams versus the Eagles. This is going to be a really good one. This to me, this being 1 o'clock is kind of wild, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to go with LA.
Same.
I'm going to go LA. People know how I feel about Matt Stafford. Like, I'm going to go with LA on that one. Jets and Buccaneers.
Give me Buccaneers.
Yeah. Listen, they're over. They've been really good early in the season the last few years. I just feel like they may tail off in the middle of the year, but they start the season very strong down there usually. So that's a clean sweep there. Division rivalry, Colts Titans. I don't know if Tennessee wins a game this year the way they
yeah.
If they do, it won't be Sunday. I've joked about it with you through text messages, but I cannot believe how good that Daniel Jones has looked so far. And once again, we said the same thing last year about Sam Darnold, and he kept showing up once again in the regular season, and then obviously once the postseason came, he became the postseason merchant or regular season merchant. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, wait till Daniel Jones sees real defenses, so we'll see.
Hey, them guys get paid too. We talk about this. Hey, them guys get paid too, and he out there. Because once again, that's the problem. Is if he got drafted at 20 or 21, like Kenny Pickett,
that's fine. Yeah, but 6
overall. It's like
with Josh Allen underneath him, a better player, even plays on defense, and they went. Yeah, I don't know.
It's wild, and even Dwayne Haskins at the time, rest in peace. But it's just like, what are we doing? But it's what it is. Last game on the 1 o'clock slate, we got the Raiders versus Commanders. This will be a little closer than I think, because I think
give me Raiders.
I can't go that far, but I do think I think it would be closer than what people think. But I think Washington gets back on track. I know people think that Jaden Daniels is starting to have that sophomore slump, but I do think they find a way to right the ship against Vegas on Sunday. So now to the 4:00 slate, we got Denver going into LA.
Oof.
Give me Denver here.
I'll go LA. I'll ride the hot hand.
Yeah, give me Denver. I know that obviously the Chargers are a better team, obviously, but yeah, give me Denver here. I think that they'll find a way to get an ugly win. That's how they win. They don't win pretty. They win ugly.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna have to make it ugly to have a shot on Sunday. Next we have the 2010 wild card rematch.
Oh.
New Orleans going into Seattle, where Beast Mode was created. So once again, I don't see the Saints. I see the Saints very much like the Tennessee Titans. Those will be the 1 and 2 picks overall next year. So good luck to whoever goes out there. You're going to Tennessee or you're going to New Orleans. Yeah, that's Seattle's winning that game.
1, 2, 3, yes.
Seattle. Cowboys Bears 425. Cowboys.
Give
Bears.
me the Bears because that Cowboys defense, like I said, ranked 29. The Bears. Give me that. They weren't that great on defense.
That's the bias showing up. Stop it.
Hey. Women lie, men lie. Facts don't.
Hey, listen, I'm waiting to see this Ben Johnson offense that everybody was,
Roma Dunze is starting it. That's good. He's starting up that Ben Johnson offense. He's looking pretty sharp.
Listen, the play designs have been awesome. I've seen some of the play designs he's been putting out there has been great. But just like Tim Grover talked about when it came to with him and Michael Jordan, it was like, yo, you can't have $1 million moves with a 10-cent jump shot.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have $1 million play calls but have a 10-cent execution. So it's like you got to be better, with that. So next we have Arizona going into San Francisco. Mac Jones, I'm riding with 10, Mac 10. I think the Cardinals, obviously will have a better record or better year. Mac Jones looked really good.
Yeah, he was.
And Patriot fans were pissed off on Twitter. And I'm like, I said,
I don't know why though. Like,
I'm like, he had he had a few of those games here. It just wasn't all the time. I said the game on Thanksgiving that he had against Minnesota when he threw for 382. I think his very first game against Miami, he had 281. So there's games we remember. It just he never really had a signature moment except for that game when the touchdown against Buffalo when they shouldn't have won that game, but they did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just like that was a signature moment there. But yeah, like he's had those games, and once again, when he can make quick decisions, he's lethal, which is why he got picked where he got picked. And he was supposed to be in Kyle Shanahan's offense anyways. He's smarter than Brock Purdy. And now you give him a Kittle, you give him his favorite target, Kendrick Bourne. I forgot that Bourne was back over there now.
1-year deal.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So now having that, you can just go over there and do your thing. So love that for him. But yeah, I think 49ers get that done on Sunday for sure. I can't believe this is the Sunday night game, but here we are.
Oh Lord.
Kansas City coming into MetLife to the G, man. This is not a 1-2-3 though, because Kansas City ain't look good. But is there any way that your Giants find a way to get it done on Sunday?
So I think the Giants do get it done, but the NFL does not want Kansas City to be 0-3. So somehow, some way, it's gonna be some BS from the refs for Kansas City. So I'm gonna go Giants, even though I think Kansas City is going to win just because of the refs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that Kansas City, there's no way NFL lets them go 0-3. No way. Like it was close. Like they're going to sway it to where
Plus, have you ever seen the Patriots go 0-3 like that after being the 8th straight AFC Championship game, Super Bowls? The NFL wouldn't let that happen for them, and they're not going to let it happen for the Chiefs.
Wait a minute. Hello, 2020, they were 7-9. What do you mean?
That's different. I'm talking about the
7-9. Lost Brady, lost. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, no, but at that time, but when Mahomes caught fire that his rookie year or that second season, but it really was rookie year, they were rooting for it to be Chiefs Rams. Remember that same year? That was the 54-48 game of Monday Night Football. So fans was like, "Oh, let's get that. We want that." And Brady said, "One more time, I got y'all." And in y'all house.
That was a terrible game too. People were like, "That's the best game ever." It's like they played no defense.
Yeah, I mean, let's say in his handing, but other than that, it was just like, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, but no, like I said, I think KC wins. But I would love to see that. You know, y'all find a way to get that win. And then Monday nights, we got the Lions versus the Ravens, which produced one of the craziest moments a few years ago, with that 64-yard field goal from Justin Tucker, you know, to win the game, which was crazy out there. So yeah, who you got in that one?
Oh wow, that's tough. I think the Ravens. I think Derrick Henry's going to bounce back.
Yeah. I mean, he gonna need to. I mean, I know obviously he's the reason why they're not 2-0, in my opinion. With that fumble that kind of gave Buffalo life. So yeah, I think that he you know, finds a way to get it together. Obviously Detroit's coming in flying high. I don't think they put 50 on Baltimore.
God, no.
I don't see that. Because that would be crazy. But like Baltimore's favored at home, but yeah, that should be one of the better games at Monday night all year. So yeah, so that closes it out for the week 3 pick. So
whew, yeah. Well, before we head out, make sure you guys follow us on TikTok, Fake Football Analysts. I run that account. I'm a little behind. I'll put up more videos. Don't worry, but just make sure you guys follow. Make sure you also follow _Fake Analysts. We're working on that one too, so make sure you guys follow that up. And always like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends. We like to be guests on shows too.
Yep.
On YouTube, so check us out like that.
Thanks.
So we'll do final words. I'll start off with it first. Shout out to Deshaun Jackson. I hate the guy as a player, but he's good. He's good as a coach. Delaware State.
Hate the punter.
Yeah. Matt Dodge. Anyways, he's had a first back-to-back wins for Delaware State. I believe they're 3-0.
No, 2-1.
2-1. Sorry. Their running game is actually like one of the best in the FCS. Thank you, Clinton Portis. Well, that's a love-hate relationship. Hate that he was on the Redskins, but loved him at Miami. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out, give the flowers due to some FCS, HBCU schools. So shout out to Delaware State and Deshaun Jackson. And as always, Black people matter.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, listen. My word goes to my to my Patriots. I'm happy they finally won a game in Miami. Once again, that has been a house of horrors for us. And but on a different note, listen, y'all, it's getting real out here, and I'm talking about in the world. It's getting real out here. People losing their jobs over making jokes now, and it's
ridiculous.
It's crazy. So listen, the revolution will be televised, and like I said, anytime that we can speak about a matter, we can, and we will. And yeah, so let's keep it going. But yeah, don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to do your research. And always try to lead with humility, lead with grace, lead with respect, and lead with love. So, but yeah, as always, Black Lives Matter, not just when it's convenient for you.
And that's actually a really great way to end it. So we'll see you all next week. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.